Well, first, the person said, somebody very close to the President of the United States is asking me to ask you to stop talking about Brigitte's penis.
He's a viewer. We know that.
He is a viewer, him and his wife and their entire entourage. They watch every minute of my show. Trump certainly didn't. I know Trump, I think, stays much more in the mainstream media.
Yes.
In terms of watching what he watches. But
he must have been completely confused.
He sounded very confused. He said he was very confused when the leader of France took him aside.
Of a nuclear-armed country.
During negotiations for Ukraine and Russia to inquire about whether or not he knew Candace Owens. And clearly it was an emergency because it wasn't like Trump called me 2 days after or a week after. It wasn't like a side conversation that, let's take care of that. It was messaged by the intermediary hours after Macron left, maybe even an hour after Macron had left, and said, we need to get on the phone with you.
The President of the United States.
Well, first, the person said, somebody very close to the President of the United States is asking me to ask you to stop talking about Brigitte's penis. And
This is the true face of diplomacy. I love it.
True face of diplomacy. And I laughed because I said, okay, no, bye. This seems ridiculous. I kind of questioned whether or not it was even true. But I liked the person who called me very much. And I thought maybe I was being a bit short there because I'm 9 months pregnant and I was at the time, I think 5 or 6 months pregnant. And I tend to get short the more pregnant I become. And so I called him back and I just said, can you explain to me what's really going on? That individual told me that it was presented to him as a condition of ending the Russian-Ukrainian war. This was something that he brought up in the midst of these negotiations. That's how it was presented to me from a third-party person. And then I was just completely floored, and I just took a second, looked at my husband, and the first thing we said to one another is, no one will ever believe us. Right. This is beyond the realm of things that could be plausible. They're going to think I'm making this up and I'm lying. Even when I did eventually tell the story months later, people were like, there's no way that this could have happened. And until Trump didn't deny it. And then, of course, Emmanuel Macron is now suing me. And he included, as a part of a lawsuit, he referred to that phone call and how he believes that presenting it as an element of the Ukraine-Russian war was wrong.